Right, well, hello everybody. I think I better work on the top half of the gent, the pirate himself. Now, this coat is actually a navy blue. So I think what I did was to use a black and a blue together. That looks like a... Actually, remember to bring some paper with me today to try them out. That's not a black. Is that the black? It looks like green to me. They all look the same now. Everyone I look at is the same as the last. Oh, there's the black. And I think that's the blue. I'll use that blue. Right, so I've done a little bit of his sleeve here. The light is catching the back of his coat there. So that ought to be some sort of, well, I'm going to use a pale purpley sort of color. It goes over his shoulder there. And I think that would also work on his hat, because the side of the hat there is catching the light as well. And that definitely is a purpley color. If I get this the right shape, that will certainly help. Right, I ought to have a lid to put bits in. Right, now, I can't remember which way round I did this, but I'm going to try the blue first. Touch of white there. This is all dark down here in varying ways. So, and if you actually use the pastel in a way that almost shapes the sleeve going around there, although you do, in fact, or you can lose the strokes. Sometimes they stay just enough to inform the shape, to help give the shape its character. This is black on top of blue. I think I'm going to have to put the blue on top of the black again, but I think I did that last time, so I'm not too worried about that. His sleeve has got various light bits across it, which I want to keep if I can. Then down the back there is also lit. And this is quite strongly dark here, so I'll put that in quite strongly. This is actually in the shade. I think it's the color of his jacket, actually, or something like that. And while I'm at it, I will also define his hat. comes quite close there. There we are. It's coming on quite nicely. I'm not quite sure whether to. No, I think I'll jiggle it with the purpley colour. I'm taking the purple a little bit over the edge of the black to suggest a more rounded shape. I can't really get that kind of fine detail, but it does help a little bit. Now then, this comes up here quite a bit. And then we've got a straight edge here. And there we are. Ooh, that looks nice. Now let's put the shadows on the coat, the light rather, on the coat. Now if I go back to the blue and put the blue on top of the black of the sleeve, I don't know if I'm getting anything now. Oh yes, I am, which is good. It doesn't matter that you lose that edge because in fact you can't see that edge very clearly in the picture. This gets to be a little bit less definite. And that's got a definite push to it. I want that to be really dark there. So I'm just making sure that that is in fact very black. I think I could make this part of his coat blacker too, so I'll do that. I think that's coming along all right. Okay. Now then, what on earth to do about his hair? It's a very pale frizz at the back. Don't remember him being that colour, Rachel. Yeah. Well, I think, yes, I think if I do that bit with ochre, more of an ochre colour, maybe work over the ochre in white when I come to it. If I continue with that ochre colour here, then I can work on top of it for the other thing. Now he's got a red bandana, has he not? Let's get that in. It comes around his forehead and down here. That. Right, so we want to put his hair in a darker brown. Right, now this is quite a darker brown, so I streak this in here on top of the ochre, sort of mixes in with the ochre, which is nice. And then if I get white, if I could only find it. Oh, there we are. I work on top of this with the white. I get a sort of fuzzy look, which is rather nice. That's good. The face is always difficult. I don't think there's any point in attempting to do a proper face with these pastels. sure that's his. Oh, I don't know. Maybe it's okay. Might be able to do something. Think if we can just a little touch of white there. You can get the white if you press hard enough. I think black needs to be up there a bit more. Right. Now then, I do want to put a bit of shadow on his face here under the chin. However big his nose is, it's not that big. Just try a smudge there. Just not the chance to. I don't think that's going to work. We'll just get rid of it. Put the background in and come back to the twiddles afterwards. Right. This in here is a reddish color. Now oops, that's not red. I think it was more this color. I'm not sure how much of this I'm going to be putting in. So just to, it's easy enough to fill that in afterwards. It's not a thing that needs a lot of attention. I think I better turn my attention to the trees, actually, because that's just a boring bit of filling in, isn't it? Okay, so the trees. Well, they're certainly green, aren't they? So let's see what we can do with the greens that I've been given. Okay. Now, if we start about there, if we do this bit here, not going to show a lot, but I think it's a bit darker than that, so I'll work in some of the dark. Trouble with this dark is it's the wrong set of colors. Right. Now, we don't want, not going to make a lot of difference because the background of the painting is green. We need to variegate it a bit anyway. So Just a bit at a time, I think. I do need another green if I could only find one. That's a green. Right, so there are areas of dark. That's not going to show. Right. If you're not going to get it that way. Over dark. Areas of dark here. If I try to introduce, rather than strokes, curly bits. Go for something a little lighter. This area is here is quite bright. Some of the leaves of the trees are quite right. There's a streak of lighter color down there. So if I use the yellow, I use the yellow lightly and mix it in rather than making it a strong color. I'll be able to catch that. It comes out of his hat, actually. Be able to catch that streak there. It doesn't do to hurry this. It's a bit like drawing in the sense that you do a little bit at a time. And if you try to hurry it, what you get is nothing very interesting. Right. I think that shape is a bit strong, so we'll take that back a bit. Let's continue. This is quite happy here. This is quite strong in shape. Yeah, and it goes really very much darker, so we'll go to a much darker color. I don't want it to be too sudden. Yeah. Just trying to make the marks that I make different so that there's a chance that you'll get some texture. It's always going to look a bit heavy. That's right. I think this is a mixture that I'm going to have to do here because that's quite light. So again, I'm working on top of the color with the yellow to lighten it, but I'm not making the yellow so strong that it comes out as yellow. It's just lightening the green that's there. And I'm trying to work away from him so that what I'm doing defines him to some extent. Right, so I think that one should do there. think that's too dark there. It's too near the colour of his hat. So we'll take it out. We don't really want them to be so very black. Yeah. And go back again with the yellow, just to lighten everything. You can see the yellow on top of that green is not a good idea. It gets too purpley. So I'll have to scrub it out with something. This is obviously a useful colour. What are we doing? Okay. I have to do something about that face. It's pretty awful. But I'll tell you that in a minute. This seems to be the one I'm using. So we'll come down here. Part of the trouble is I gave him such a big chin. He looked like Punch. He certainly doesn't look like Punch, so that was not a good idea. Aspects of this which are a bit dark. I think that's darker. Yes. Try that one. Now we could, while we're at it, introduce a little bit of blue sky. I'm a bit nervous about this because it could look pretty cob if I don't get it right. But there is a bit of blue sky here. The trees aren't solid. So if I can introduce a little bit of light within the green, that would help. It's not going to show up much without a bit of help. So work on top of it with a bit of white. It begins to look a bit more like sunlight breaking through. There's a bit more about here, isn't there? Again, it doesn't need to be in exactly the right place, as long as it's approximate. I'll work on top of that again with a bit of blue. Let's see if we can get that far with the greenery. Greenery underneath that bit of light. I don't want to bring the dark too near his face. I don't think that would help. But over here, this part is quite a dark area. Here. And above, it's quite light above it. Whoops, not that light. This area here stays dark quite a way. right the way down. We're approaching the reeds and things. Right. Well, I'm not going to get, this will be more of the same, so I don't need to. When I get to the bottom here, if I streak back in, and use my differentiation strokes to make the greens. I've got a bit of joined up work there. It's beginning to come. I'll go back and just put the odd flash of light. Not that bit. No, there. Okay. On this. The trees on the other side of the grass are darker. So I want sort of roundy shapes up here. Implying the grasses and then a change of texture because these are leaves. And then where are we? Did you get too far? Can we introduce a bit of light here to go over that with the green because that's too light? And this is quite a big passage of green here, not very differentiated. How much easier with watercolor? We can throw the odd bit of light on it though. It's a bit too definite. Again, there's more light there. As we come up here, there's quite a big piece of space. It's sort of Y-shaped, goes up there, goes along there. And then I get the white. The white. I have lost the white. That's it. Right, so here we are. Again, the blue is too strong a blue. I don't want it to fight with her garments. So I need to knock it back. And that's a reasonable indication. Not that one. Don't like that one. It's a greeny blue, and he's not. What's happening here? This is light. This is dark. This is even darker. I think if I can get this darker from here, that it really throws up those reeds. That would help. Quite a big dark patch there. There's no way I'm going to find my way. You know, I've lost my way already. So what I put in is actually something that I think will go. Just by patiently working across, you achieve something that isn't too stodgy. I don't think I would recommend using oil pastels for trees. But if you're stuck with it, you've just got to get on with it, haven't you?
2 minutes.
There's definitely a patch of light there. And these also show light. I don't want it to be that light, so work over it, under it, around it. And if you cover it too much, you can always go back again and lighten it up again. You notice I'm using the yellow to lighten the green, not the white. The white will kill it. I'm looking for contrasts and shapes as much as anything. So I'm not going to get it finished in the day, but I think, whoops, I think that gives you some idea of the sort of thing you are reduced to when you're using pastels and trying to do trees. Things do tend to clump unless you can get a bit of texture into them.
Less than 1 minute.
Right, well, I think I'll finish there because if I carry on, I'll start to hurry and then I'll spoil it. But if I carried on, it would just be more of the same to finish off the shape so that the picture came together as a whole. And then I'd tackle that face again. Probably not attempt to put eyes, nose, and mouth in. But I do need to shape the face itself a little better than that. It's not even the right shape for what it is. So that would be the next thing I would do. Probably. Marvellous. You say you're going to stop and then you don't.